Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping right in.
We are. We're taking a close look at the global iOS developer services market.
Right. And our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. We want to pull out the most important bits, the real nuggets of knowledge from this big report by Cognitive Market Research. It's the Global iOS Developer Services Market Forecast to 2033. And think of it as, well, your shortcut to understanding the growth, the regional differences, everything shaping this vital industry.
And it's really crucial stuff, not just for developers, but for anyone interested in tech generally or, how app trends impact economies.
Exactly.
This report gives us that global picture, region by region, looking all the way out to 2033. So quite a long view.
Okay, so let's start with that big picture then. The global numbers, they really set the scene.
They do.
According to the report, back in 2021, the global market was already, significant, over $8 billion.
$8 billion, already substantial.
Yes. But here's where it gets interesting. The projection, it jumps to over $11.5 billion by 2025. Okay.
And then looking out to 2033, it's forecasted to hit, wait for it, $24 billion.
Oh, $24 billion.
Phenomenal, right. That works out to a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of 9.542% globally.
That's nearly 10% year on year.
Pretty much. It means we're looking at a near tripling of the market size in, just over a decade?
And that kind of growth, that consistent, strong momentum, it's not just a blip, is it?
No, definitely not.
A near tripling, almost 10% CAGR, that signals, really fundamental and sustained demand for these iOS services all around the world. It suggests deep forces at play, more smartphones, the whole Apple ecosystem loyalty, businesses needing top-notch apps.
It really underlines the economic power of iOS.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's zoom in a bit then. Regions, starting with North America, still a major hub.
Of course.
Market value there, over $2.1 billion in 2021. Projected to reach over $6 billion by 2033.
$6 billion.
Yeah, with a solid CGR of 8.886%. Now, within North America, the U.S. Obviously leads big time.
No surprise there. Projected close to $4.8 billion by 2033. But here's something interesting. Canada. Smaller market, yes, but its CAGR is actually a bit higher, 9.509%.
Oh, interesting. Slightly outpacing the U.S. growth rate?
Exactly. And Mexico's contributing strongly, too, projected around $500 million by 2033.
That comparison, it really shows the different dynamics, even in a mature market like North America.
It does.
The U.S. scale is just massive, cementing its dominance. But Canada's slightly higher growth rate might point to maybe specific sectors booming, fintech, startups maybe.
Could be.
It suggests demand is diversifying, beyond just the biggest player, healthy signs.
Okay, so shifting gears now, across the Atlantic. Europe, a continent with, lots of different digital scenes.
Very diverse, yeah.
The market there started over $1.9 billion in 2021, forecasted to grow to more than $5.4 billion by 2033.
So also significant growth.
Definitely. With a respectable CAGR of 9.123% overall. Now, looking at specific countries, Germany really stands out.
Ah, Germany. How are they looking?
Strongest growth predicted, a CAGR of nearly 10%, 9.894%. Could hit over $1 billion by 2033.
Wow, okay. Leading the pack in Europe.
Seems like it. The UK is also strong, 9.485% CAGR. Spain's close behind at 9.425%. But then you see Russia, for instance, more modest growth, around 7.8% CAGR.
That range is really telling, isn't it, Germany? Pushing nearly 10%. Perhaps really aggressive digital transformation in their industries.
Makes sense.
Integrating iOS into manufacturing, enterprise solutions, while maybe Russia reflects different priorities or stages of adoption.
Right.
It shows the overall trend in Europe is up, but the speed and drivers, they really vary country by country.
Okay, now let's head east. Because, here's where things get really explosive in terms of growth. Asia Pacific.
Ah, yes, the APAC region, always dynamic.
You said it. The market was over $2.8 billion back in 2021, projected to rocket past $9 billion by 2033.
$9 billion, that's huge.
It is. And the CAGR reflects that, 10.233%.
Yeah.
That's the highest regional growth rate anywhere in the world.
10.2%. Okay.
Within APAC, China's still the biggest market in absolute terms. Projected over $3.1 billion by 2033. Strong CAGR, too. Over 10%.
Makes sense, given the scale.
But India. India is the real star here in terms of growth rate.
I suspected that might be the case. What's the number?
An incredible 11.267% than IGR. The highest individual country growth we've seen. Market size potentially hitting almost 1.2 billion by 2033.
11.2. Remarkable.
Isn't it? And Singapore, Southeast Asia, generally, also showing really strong growth. Over 10% TGRs there, too.
So this really begs the question, right? What's driving this incredible boom in places like India, China, Singapore?
Good question. What does the report suggest?
Well, it seems to be a mix of things. Rapidly increasing smartphone use, especially among younger people.
Ah,
Big digital transformation pushes from governments and businesses. And just a booming local developer scene creating relevant apps.
a perfect storm, almost.
Kind of. And India's growth specifically, it points to that massive consumer base, just shifting everything to mobile first. E-commerce, education, you name it.
That's a really key insight. Okay, next stop, South America. Another region really coming into its own here.
An emerging powerhouse, definitely.
The market was just under $500 million in 2021, forecasted to hit nearly $1.5 billion by 2033.
So tripling there as well, roughly.
Roughly, yeah, with a strong regional KGR of 9.859%. Now, drilling down, Argentina really jumps out.
Argentina. How so?
A really high KGR predicted, 10.409%. Market could reach almost $300 million by 2033.
Over 10%. That's significant.
And Chile's not far behind, also over 10% KGR. Brazil, being the largest economy, naturally contributes a lot, with nearly a 10% growth rate, too.
So putting that in perspective, South America, especially Argentina and Chile with those KGRs, wow. It shows serious potential.
Definitely.
It signals growing demand for advanced digital stuff, maybe driven by young city populations grabbing onto mobile banking, e-commerce.
Right, adopting things quickly.
Exactly. It suggests they're investing heavily in their digital future down there.
Okay, let's shift focus again. The Middle East, a region known for, well, dynamic digital development, big ambitions.
Very ambitious, yes. Lots of national initiatives.
The market value there was over $345 million in 2021, projected to cross the $1 billion mark by 2033.
1 billion. Up.
And the KGR is healthy, 9.767%. Country-wise, the UAE stands out for its growth rate, over 10.5% KGR, expanding from around 50 million to over 164 million by 2033.
10.5. Very strong.
Turkey's also showing robust growth, just over 10% KGR, and Saudi Arabia, a big market, nearly 10% KGR as well.
Yeah, that growth in places like the UAE and Turkey, it really reflects those strategic investments we hear about, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Diversification.
Tech infrastructure, national digital visions, plus high smartphone use, a digitally savvy population. It's fertile ground for iOS apps, smart cities, advanced consumer services.
They're clearly aiming for a digital-first future.
No doubt.
All right, finally, let's round out our regional tour with Africa, a continent really picking up speed in digital adoption. Mobile first is key there.
Huge potential in Africa.
The market was nearly 300 million in 2021,
Yep.
projected to reach over 900 million by 2033.
Another near tripling.
Yep, with a KGR of 9.134%. Within Africa, South Africa is leading the charge.
Okay. What are their numbers?
They started at 105 million in 2021, projected to hit over 342 million by 2033. That's a strong CAGR of 9.822%.
Nearly 10%. Impressive.
Nigeria is showing solid growth, too, adding significantly to the region's expansion.
You know, this growth in Africa really points to that massive untapped potential, South Africa leading. It highlights that growing mobile-first population, rising middle class.
Leapfrogging older tech sometimes.
Exactly, leapfrogging. As smartphones and internet get cheaper and more available, you can expect Africa to become an even bigger player, especially for essential apps, mobile payments, education, health.
So after that whirlwind tour,
Mhm.
what's the big takeaway for you, our listener?
What does it all mean?
Well, the overarching story is clear, isn't it? Strong, consistent global growth. From over 8 billion in 2021,
To a projected 24 billion by 2033.
the momentum is undeniable. And this deep dive, I hope, has shown you not just the scale, but also where that growth is coming from, the regional hotspots.
And connecting those dots, it really boils down to two main things mentioned in the source: relentless digital transformation and just this ever-increasing, always evolving demand for really good iOS apps. We've seen those standout regions, Asia-Pacific, South America.
And specific countries, India, Germany, Argentina, the UAE, places with really high CGRs.
Right, and these aren't just abstract numbers. They show where innovation is really bubbling up, where new markets are taking shape, and where the next wave of app experiences will likely come from.
It's genuinely fascinating to see this level of growth, isn't it? So consistent, so global for iOS developer services. The industry is just buzzing.
It really is. So maybe a final thought for you to mull over. Given this huge sustained global growth and all these different regional speeds and dynamics we've talked about,
What emerging technologies or maybe big shifts in how we behave as consumers do you think will really define the next 10 years of iOS app innovation, especially in those super fast-growing regions we highlighted?
that is a great question to chew on. Something to think about as you go about your day. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
We hope you feel a lot more informed, maybe even a little excited about where iOS development is headed.